Hi, it's Nick Warburton from improvemymindset.com, and something a bit different for you today. I've got somebody who I've worked with who's experienced the Psy-TaP process and is willing to have a little chat with it. So I have Michelle here. So thank you for joining us, Michelle. Really appreciate your time coming here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll have just a little chat about what you've experienced, because it must be about 10 months now since we worked together. So
yeah, it must be.
That's great, because it shows, that it's long-lasting and all being well, it works. So if I can just ask you a couple of questions, would you be willing to share what your situation was that made you feel that you needed to get some treatment?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically I suppose in a short answer, I didn't know how to channel the feelings that I had.
Yeah.
So I was very, shall we say, strong-minded. I was very opinionated, but I was also not very good at opening up to talk about how I felt. And if somebody would confront me and ask me why I was reacting in the way I reacted, I would clam up, and basically a wall would come up. And I didn't know how to get through that wall, because the more I tried, the less it was going to happen.
Yes.
And it frustrated me so much, and I'd had different personal things happen in my life, and things that had made me probably quite emotionally hard. And for me, I wanted to be a lot softer, more understanding, and easier to talk to, I guess.
Yeah. It's very common that once we perceive a barrier to be there, we can often put barriers around the barrier as well. And we build the barrier higher and higher because we feel it gives us more protection. The difficulty then is we can't see over it, and we don't know what's on the other side. And that's kind of where we need the help to remove the barriers more than anything.
Yeah.
What was it that made you choose me or Psy-TaP?
So I had followed you for quite a while,
right.
And I'd been obviously following your webpage, and I'd been following you on Facebook and read a lot of your reviews, but also I really enjoyed the calmness of you. It was almost quite therapeutic just to kind of listen to you do your live videos, and I just felt that there was a connection there that, this guy could really help just by the way that you were, as I say, in your live videos.
Oh, shocked.
So
that's nice. It is about feeling calm, and as I say to a lot of people, once you feel good inside, it doesn't matter what's going on outside. But also, when you feel good inside, you project that out, and that influences other people. So
yeah, for sure, your energy, just because you're not in the same room, I've never been in the same room as you, but just because I've never been in the same room as you, you can still feel that energy, when you have that energy that you feel from someone, whether it be on a Zoom call, whether it's on a live video or whatever, you instantly feel that connection. And likes of yourself that's trying to help people, I knew that you were very understanding. And I think somebody had to be with me. So,
that's lovely. Thank you very much. When we actually came to doing the session together, because as you said, we've never actually met in person. Our session was done via Skype. And how did you find it? So what I want to do is just, in one word, great. So if anybody's thinking about doing it and thinking, can it be done from a distance? Because we can work globally using Skype or Zoom. How did you find it?
Really good. In all honesty, I think when you talk about doing things online together, there is that ounce of doubt, because you think, well, how can somebody say they're going to make you better in an instant? How is that even going to work? So part of me was a bit doubtful, not because I didn't believe in you, but just because of the whole technology thing. So when we started to do it, I was amazed, honestly. I was absolutely amazed. And the fact that you can, you could phone, so I'm in Scotland, far north of Scotland, you're like way down south, and you just went like, it was
Jedi
just
skills.
absolutely, it was nuts. Yeah.
Right. And how have you been since the treatment?
Good. I think the thing is, if you, as you say, when you give us the tool bag,
Yes.
you've got your toolkit. So you get your toolkit. So you have different sequences of tapping or holding fingers or whatever. That helps loads. And I'll give you one example. This is not anything to do. Okay, so one example. He'll kill me. Douglas, so when I'm in the car, we had a really bad accident, and I broke a couple of ribs and stuff, and it was a head-on collision we had with an HGV.
Right.
And that one of my issues was being in the car made me feel really nervous.
Yeah.
And when we were on single track roads and things, I was like, quite not frightened, but just anxious. So when we're driving along, Douglas is driving. Douglas thinks he's a bit of a Nigel Mansell, so but anyway. When I'm driving along with him, I just use what you've told me to do with my hand and my fingers and different things. And it works in an instant. So that is only one tiny, tiny little example. Other examples could be if I'm in a situation where normally I would just fly off the handle.
Right.
Now I know where to channel it, and I know which bits to tap, and I know which fingers to squeeze and stuff like that. So, and those are just a couple of examples.
That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing those, because not everybody wants to share the situation they've been through. And they just want to be okay, but not tell anyone about the whole process. I think you need to have a chat with to say slow down, rather than just treating the situation. May need to change the situation as well. I am available. So thank you for that. It's about sorting the issue that you have, but also giving you the tools in the future to go forward with. Because you will encounter other situations. We all do. Our life's a story. So being ready for it. And again, if you're okay in here, it doesn't matter what comes at you, you're able to respond. So knowing that you have that, and as I said, it's 10 months now, and you're still using them and putting them in place. That's brilliant. And people should be able to see that it's had that positive impact on your life, which is great for you. It's great for me. But hopefully other people will understand that as well.
Well, the thing is, you don't have to remember to take it with you, You've got your hands on your body, so they're with you all the time. So you don't need to take anything.
That's it. And it's just having that little bit of knowledge as well. Again, that's what we teach in the session.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what would you say to anyone who's thinking about it? Because often it's a case that, yes, we put videos out there and we can have detail on the website, and people look at it and they're not sure, or they may have had previous treatments in other ways that haven't worked. What would you say?
So I have a quote that I love. It's by this guy. And it's one of the greatest freedoms that we can have is the way we react to things, okay? Or is how we react to things. And I think that knowing how to react to something is key. Knowing how to channel your feelings and your thoughts so that it doesn't take you into that really kind of deep, dark place, because it's not a nice place to be. The biggest step I think that people have is reaching out and asking for help.
Yes.
That is huge for some people.
Yes.
But that is the biggest step, because once you've made that step and you connect with the likes of yourself, after that it's so simple. And as I say, that is due to the fact that you're so easygoing and you can pretty much, tell you everything, and there's nothing that shocks you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think for people out there who are thinking, should I, shouldn't I, then you should, because the reason that you're obviously watching Nick is because you feel that you need to take that next step and you just haven't. But 100% do it. You need to, for yourself.
That's amazing to hear, and I appreciate what you just said there, because that's really powerful. But it also ties in, because funnily enough, on my website, one of the things that I put is the hardest part is reaching out.
Yeah.
The rest is easy. Once you've done that and you go to that person and say, I need some help. Yeah, great, okay, let's go forwards. Yeah. And it's that confidence, or that, again, another perceived barrier of just going to someone and saying, because it's a vulnerability, I need some help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Once you've done that, we can sort out the rest. That can all be done.
I know. Yeah, absolutely. But no, I mean, it feels great. It feels lovely to, and honestly, just in an instant, how do you feel now? Think about that thing that we were talking about. Bring it back to your head. Well, you can't. Well, why can't you? Because it's gone.
Yeah. And
it's crazy.
It's fun from my side, because when I ask somebody, can you get it back? And you see them looking around and trying to access it. And I can remember the words you used, and I won't use them on this video. But it is that powerful and that effective, and that's why I love doing what I do. And to see somebody such as yourself here 10 months later saying all these very kind things, and how it's affected your life in a positive way, wonderful. And so
I think one really important point for people that are wondering, a lot of people don't like to divulge into their past and some issues that they have. The one good thing, well, I mean, there's loads of good things about Psy-TaP, but one really good thing is one of the first things you said was, I just need the points. I don't need the nitty gritty details. All I need is, the basic overall points of different things that are affecting you. And that is a really good thing, because for people to know, because some people out there might be quite scared and thinking, oh, I've got to divulge into so much information and it's going to make me feel really rubbish. But you don't. You just need the basic first couple of lines about what's wrong.
That's it. Absolutely right. Because what somebody's been through, even if they try and describe it in detail to you, your own perception of life is different. So I will see it differently. So if I'm not going to see it exactly the same way as you did, what's the point in telling you? Because all I'm going to end up doing is putting you through distress. And that's not what we're here for. We're trying to stop the distress. So yeah, absolutely right. It's, again, what I love about Psy-TaP and why I chose Psy-TaP is because we don't put people through distress. And it is quick. Because, I mean, we had one session together, didn't we? And we were done roughly in 90 minutes. And that's it. And to not have to put yourself through the things session after session after session, that's not the way forward. That's not how I want it to be anyway.
No.
So, on the whole, everything's great. It's really good. I mean, to see you smiling so much and being so positive, it's wonderful. And so I really appreciate your time doing this and inspiring other people to do it. Because it's one thing for me to say it, but if I can have somebody who's been there, done that, and can say yes, then that's great. So I really appreciate your time, Michelle. Thank you ever so much. Is there anything else you want to add before I sign off?
I would just like to say, anyone who is watching, you have to want to help yourself. So please take that first step and help yourself. You don't need to be in that place that you maybe are right now. There is definitely help there with Nick and Psy-TaP. So go for it.
Thanks. Well, I appreciate it, Michelle. Thank you ever so much for the interview. And so if anybody does want to get in touch with me, blatant plug now, if you go to the website, improvemymindset.com, or alternatively, if you want to get in contact, you can find me on social media, or email me, nick@improvemymindset.com, and let's see if we can find a solution for you. So again, thank you, Michelle, and thank you for everyone for watching.